Hey guys, this is Jenny, and this is our recording for our Slow Flow class for the week of 4/25 through May the 1st, April the 25th through May the 1st. And today I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about like your edge, your personal edge. Hunter S. Thompson said there is no honest way to explain it because the only people who really know where it is are the ones who have gone over. And this is something I was thinking about a lot lately personally, just like where is my edge? And just like last year, one of my main mantras was have fun and take chances. And to me, have fun and take chances is going to put me on my edge. And little did I know, a lot of these things are just so much more of a self-fulfilling prophecy than we could ever imagine. And this last year, since that has really been my mantra, has been such a roller coaster ride. It's been really intense, and I really do think partially because, I called that energy into my life experience. I pushed myself to my edge. I explored my edge fully and completely. Like, I pushed myself past it. I really did engage in a whole lot of things within my career, within my personal life that have just pushed me over my edge of comfort. And it's funny because a lot of this stuff is stuff that back in the day, maybe I was more comfortable with. Like when I was a kid, I'm still such a tomboy. And when I was a kid, man, I was that kid like on my skateboard, on my belly, on the biggest hill in town. And when I say the biggest hill in town, I'm not talking about some little thing. I'm talking about this huge hill that even now I go back to Burleson and I look at Ellsbury and I'm just like, holy shit, I cannot believe my mom let me do that, like on my belly with cars driving down the road. Like that was just who we were. We would get on the half pipe, we would go in the ditches, we would play in the ditches, we played in the sewers, we would ride our bikes in these crazy places. I just had little fear, when it came to having fun and taking risks and putting myself out on the edge of my comfort zone. Like the comfort zone for me was not a place to stay. It was always about exploring what's beyond that space for me. And I'm really trying in my adult life experience to bring more of that playfulness back, more of that like discovering my edge, like where is my edge? Am I pushing myself past it? Am I afraid of it? Am I intrigued by it? What are my feelings about my edge? What are my feelings about my comfort zone? What does it feel like to be outside of it? What does it feel like when you jump off of that cliff and you don't know what's going to catch you on the way down because you're just trusting in the universe to lay forth every stone in front of your path as you need it, without being able to see what's down there. And it's been interesting. Like, I think this year I've put myself in more uncomfortable situations probably than I ever have in a collective year. And just things like learning to ride dirt bike, motorcycle, like new career techniques that are just so intense and serious, like putting myself out there in more authentic and vulnerable ways all the time. Like it's constantly pushing myself past my edge. And there's experiences in our lives that push us past our edge whether we want to, whether we're in agreement to it or not. We're going to be pushed over that cliff. We're going to be shoved out of our comfort zone, and we got to learn to fly in that moment. It's just like a baby bird. A baby bird doesn't get to learn how to fly without being pushed out of the nest, right? And it's the same thing with us sometimes when we've been just too stagnant, too in our little comfort zone, not pushing ourselves past enough, or it's just meant for our experience, whatever that thing is that's just going to thrust us out of the nest. And we got to learn to flap those wings. We got to learn to move that body in a way that's going to support us and sustain us and lift us up, right? So I think this is like an amazing place for us to explore in our humanity, is our edge. What is my edge? Do you know what your edge even is? Do you know what that is? Where are the discomforts? Do you look at it as an edge and something to be explored, something to be intrigued by, something to grow a deeper understanding of? Or do you see it as this deep red line in the sand, right? Where you can't move past that place? Because all of those things, those limitations, that's your glass ceiling. That edge is your glass ceiling. That's the thing that you've imposed on your own self, on your own life experience, that for whatever reason, whatever stories you're telling about it, whatever perceptions you have, you are not willing to move past that place. For some reason, you've been frozen in place and, afraid of moving into that next new space, moving past your edge, jumping off of the cliff. You've lost your spirit of adventure. You've lost your spirit of trusting in the universe, trusting in God, divinity, source, trusting in your higher self. So this is a great time to start looking at those kinds of things. Kurt Vonnegut said, I want to stand as close to the edge as I can without going over. Out on the edge, you see all kinds of things you can't see from the center. Now, what I think he's saying here is like not going over the edge. He's talking probably about a mental edge, right? He doesn't want to move so far over the edge that he's no longer relatable. He's no longer connected. He's no longer accessible to the people around him or things of that nature. And I don't know, maybe he was talking about his fear. Maybe he was scared to go over the edge, and not trusting in what existed on the other side. I don't know. But I just thought that was a really interesting quote too. At least he's even willing to stand on the edge, right? Like when you ride an elevator up a really tall building, I don't know if any of you guys have ever done like the Empire State Building or when the Twin Towers were around the Twin Towers or any of that kind of stuff. I did the Empire State Building way back in the day. And I remember getting to the top and going up there and just being like, I was okay towards the center, I was okay towards the building. But as soon as I got closer to the edge, the fear kicked in. That gripping feeling in my stomach, that twisting inside of my being, that feeling of like, oh my God, what if, right? Like, what if? And then fill in the blank with whatever crazy perception or mentality you had feeling that moment. And that's where it's like trusting in the ground beneath our feet. Yes, I'm close to the edge, but I'm still a part of the stable structure that is just as stable towards the building as it is towards the edge, right? So at least within that space, if you're not ready to jump off a cliff yet, you're not ready to totally dive in, you can at least get a little closer to the edge. You can start taking those steps closer to the rail where you can hold on and look over and see what potentially lies beyond the borders of what you have perceived exists within that space. The whole world could open up to you just by walking a little bit closer to the edge. So even if you're afraid to like fully jump out and just spread your wings and fly, you can always step closer to the edge. You can always look past what you perceived would be within that space. Open up new doors of opportunity, feeling into the grandness of this time and space and releasing our limitations is essentially what this is doing. So lean into your fears. Don't contract away from them. Don't pull away and push yourself so far into the center that you have no idea what exists on the fringe. That you have no idea what could exist if you were to dive over the edge. Go out to your edges. Go out there. Take a step closer. You can do it in baby steps, man. We don't have to just jump over the edge. We don't have to do that. We can take it slow, right? Because the place where your greatest limits live is also the place where your greatest growth lies. So when I say yes to stepping closer to my edge, I say yes to growth that I couldn't even potentially begin to imagine, right? It is going to help me evolve and shift in ways that I never believed. I have grown so much in this last year, and it's been a lot, man. Like, it's been insane, but it's also amazing. Like, I realize like that I can do anything. I can do anything. It's just my mind. It's recalibrating my mind. It's reshifting my perception to hold space for possibility. And so then I realized that's where my work is. It's within reshifting this perception. How do I shift my perception? I take the baby steps. I start slowly moving towards that thing. I start taking those steps out of my comfort zone. I start moving myself beyond where I was so I can start to experience that momentum of energy that's going to draw me away from that stagnancy, right? So if you don't know your edge, or if you do know your edge and you've been deathly afraid of it, this is a great time to start taking the baby steps. This is a great time to start moving towards your edge, having a deeper understanding of your edge. Why am I afraid of this thing? Because I have this past experience. Why am I letting the past dictate my now? You know, I gotta let go of all of these limitations that I've created for myself based off of my past experiences, based off of social programming, based off of what other people tell me is right for me, you know, and do what I feel like is right for me because it's what I want to experience in my life. And that's all of the reasoning that I need for it. So today during our slow flow class, I just want us to be considering our edge, even in our practice. Now, of course, I'm never talking about moving into pain, tingling, numbness, hurting our bodies on purpose to achieve a posture. Never. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about pushing myself past my edge when I have that mental thing that pops in and says, oh, this is too hard. I'm tired. You need to stop, right? To push past that edge and say, no, I'm so much stronger than that. There's still so much more in me than what my mind is telling me exists within this well of my being. There's so much strength, there's so much power. I'm going to draw that power up and I'm going to push it forward and I'm going to allow that to sustain me through this posture, through this experience. Maybe it's a really uncomfortable posture that I just don't feel like I'm really good at. So I don't give it my all because I don't feel like I'm successful. Give it a little bit more, push it a little bit farther. Move past my edge of comfort with that posture so that I can open myself up to it in ways that I never really knew were there. And when I open myself up to a posture, it's not about achieving the posture. It's not about this perfect looking Instagram picture worthy pose. It is about what does that posture have for me? What is the treasure, the gift within that thing that could open up within me new space, right? That's going to give me the ability to live life from a new space, a new, more brave, more strong, more collected version of myself. And that's really what we're always trying to achieve. The internal work is so far superior to the external physical work. The physical results are just a beautiful accent to what the meaning of this practice is really and truly about. So today, during our slow flow practice, I just want us thinking about that stuff. I want us thinking about where's my edge? Do I push myself past my edge? Have I been pushing myself past my edge? Have I been afraid of my edge? What is the quality of my edge? And how can I ease myself towards the edge? How can I take those steps towards the edge? How can I grasp onto that bar and hold on and look over to see what's on the other side? Or am I ready to jump off? Is there something inside of me that doesn't even want to step forward but dive off the edge? And if I feel that deep desire within my being, trust in my higher self to know where to put those paving stones to catch me on the way down, right? And allow me to do it in a way that's graceful and meaningful and powerful and uplifting, okay? So let's start by grounding into our easy seated posture as always. And you know, grounding into this easy seated posture is not just about drawing our attention back to ourselves. It's a good part of it. We're also wanting to create length in the body, create space within the physical being for more breath, more inhalation of the prana. And like we talked about in the past, we're not just breathing in our breath or our air in front of our face. We're breathing in cosmic energy, cosmic stardust. We are breathing in the stuff of creation with every inhalation and taking that energy into our being and allowing it to do what it needs to do to draw us into that highest state of vibratory expression, okay? So when we straighten that body, we come long through the spine, we're broadening those shoulders, dropping down the back, creating that nice long line of energetic channel for things to flow up and down. We're facilitating more breath. We're giving the lungs more capacity to expand, to draw more of that prana into our being consciously so that we can do our own deep healing work, okay? And like I said earlier, never pressing into pain, tingling, or numbness. Always making sure that we're honoring our body and being very careful with ourselves. I also put some music for you today that you can choose to listen to or not. And I'll tell you when we'll start that. We'll start that after we've kind of sunk into our body and created some capacity for that prana to start moving in our body. So let's go ahead and start to find our breath in this easy seated posture. Close your eyes and draw the attention inside of your own being, your awareness. Taking the bridge of the breath from the physical body to the spirit. Draw the shoulders back and down. And just feeling the spine naturally lengthening a little bit longer. Tuck the chin ever so slightly back and down. Rooting through those sits bones, grounding into the earth. Creating that nice strong base. Take the breath into the belly. So that on the inhalation, the belly's rising up away from the body. And on the exhale, the navel is drawing itself towards the spine, fully expelling all of the stagnant air out of the lungs. Head's floating over the heart, heart's floating over the sits bones. And whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly and gently open up those eyes so that we can begin our practice. You can either, if you have that Spotify, play that list that I sent for music, or you can play your own music, just whatever it is that you really are feeling into today. Do whatever it is that feels best to you. We're just going to start by inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully and completely. Drop those hands to the center of the shin bones. We're going to inhale, press the heart space forward past the biceps. Exhale, rounding through the spine, keeping the crown of the head even. And matching the breath with the movement. You can always close your eyes and just feel into the body during your practice and how each posture makes you feel. Inhale back to center. Exhale fully and completely. Take those hands out to frame the hips and beginning on the left side. Inhale up, swing the arm across the front side of the body. Reach through those fingertips towards the right wall. Exhale, take it down and take it to the opposite side. Inhale up, exhale down. And continue to move at your own pace. Inhale, arms come up. Reach the left arm across in front of the body. Pull that arm in and push it out. Matching the breath with the movement. Take it to the opposite side. Take both arms out, reach them towards those opposite walls. Exhale, super slow and gentle, releasing those hands all the way down into the earth. We're gonna stack our legs. So you're gonna take your left leg and just rest it into the earth in front of you. Make sure you can see me. It makes it hard to get the whole picture. I'm working on getting a better camera so we can get a better view here. That leg is just gonna be flat out in front of you, just like so. Gently resting into the earth. So that knee is going to be not quite so far out towards the side wall. It's going to be a little bit more towards the front here. We're going to stack our right leg on top, just like so. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, take the palms of the hands down in front of those shin bones. I'm going to move to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Take the hands down, inhale deeply, lengthening through the spine, and then exhale super slow and gentle. Walk those hands out to whatever degree feels most comfortable and safe. And take a nice deep stretch in your body here. You're going to feel this in your thighs, your hips, keeping the gaze towards the front of the room. And just breathing into the body. Next inhalation, walk those hands back up towards the body. Gently resting the palms of the hands on the knees. Take a deep inhalation through the nose. Exhaling fully and completely through the mouth. Then coming up onto our tabletop. Hands and knees. Shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists. Hips are stacked on top of those knees. Shifting those hips from side to side for a moment. We're going to take those deep sweeping hip circles now. So taking those hips, release them towards the left. Draw them towards the back, releasing the glutes towards the heels. Swing the hips around towards the right side, coming forward, left, back, right. Match your breath with your movement now. Inhaling from the front to the back and exhaling from the back to the front. Close your eyes and draw your attention, your awareness back inside of your body. And just feeling into that movement of energy within your own being. The next time you find yourself towards the front of that rotation, draw it in the opposite direction. Come back into your tabletop position. So we can take those cat-cow stretches. We're going to lift the tailbone first. Dropping the belly happens naturally when you lift up through that tailbone. And lift the gaze. Tuck the tailbone. Rounding through the spine. Take your chin to your chest. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Continue on at your own pace, moving as fast or as slow feels comfortable and safe to you today. Come back into your tabletop position. We're going to shift our hips towards the left side, press them towards the left. Take our gaze over our right shoulder towards our heels. Exhale back to center. Press the hips out towards the right side. Take the gaze over the left shoulder towards the heels. Exhale back to center. Continue on at your own pace. Gazing over one shoulder and then the other. Come back to center. Draw those knees towards the edge of the mat. Press the glutes back towards the heels. Stretch the arms out in front of you for that humble warrior, that peaceful warrior, excuse me. Relaxing the third eye, melting the heart space towards the earth. Just breathing into the body. Eyes are closed. Whenever you're ready, inhale and rise back up into your tabletop position. Curl your toes under, press the hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Breathing into the body. We're going to inhale, come up high on the toes. Exhale, releasing the heels towards the earth. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale, shift the gaze towards the top of the mat. Float, hook step towards those hands. Feet come to touch, toes come to touch. And just hang in your forward fold for a moment here. You can take your pinkies and gently rest them in opposite elbows, or keep those fingertips resting into the earth, allowing for some gentle movement here or remaining in stillness. Releasing the weight of the crown of the head. Creating space in those vertebrae. Releasing that pressure. And then super, super, super slow and gentle with grace and ease. Use your core strength to inhale and super strong, rise up, draw those arms overhead. Exhale, cactusing out those arms. Inhale, reach the fingertips into the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release those hands down into the earth, and inhale, rising up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, raise those fingertips into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release the fingertips into the earth. One more time at your own pace. Rise up and meet in that Tadasana or mountain pose. Hands at heart center or hands at the side of the body, palms of the hands or face forward. And breathe into your body. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, cactus out those arms. Inhale, draw the fingertips into the sun. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release those hands into the mat and step back for your downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting up to your left leg, nice and slow. Reach that leg up into the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate the ankle. Inhale, lengthen through that leg, and exhale, pulling it all the way through for a low lunge. Drop down on that back heel. Toes are out at a 45-degree angle. Front heel is either dissecting the arch of the back foot or in alignment with the heel. Keep that knee bent. Knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Use your core strength to inhale and rise up. You can either stay up high on that toe here or drop that foot down. So just listen to your body. And then inhale, rising up into that warrior one posture. And just sink in. Release that heel towards the earth. Doesn't have to totally drop down into the mat. Just keep it hovering over the earth there. Reaching those fingertips into the sky. Both hip points pointed directly in front of you. Hold that posture and breathe. Warrior two. That back leg comes parallel, the foot comes parallel with the back end of the mat. Toes of the left foot are pointed forward, reaching out through those arms. Nice, strong posture. And sink in here. Breathe and gazing over those left fingertips. Feel safe on your neck. Inhale, lift up through those left fingertips. Reach into the sky, releasing the right hand down the leg. Or take a gentle bind here. Reach those fingertips towards the left hip around the back side of the body. Gaze at the fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Exalted Warrior. Exhale back into your warrior two. Reach out through those fingertips, gazing over the left fingers. Lengthen through that front leg. Drop it down for your Trikonasana. Drop those left fingertips inside of the arch of the left foot, or draw that hand somewhere up on the shin bone if that feels more comfortable and safe. Keep that right shoulder open and rotated back to expose the heart. Gazing upward towards the right fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Otherwise, keeping a neutral gaze. Exhale. Release those hands to frame that left foot. Come up high on the back toes so that you can carefully and gently pull that left leg back to meet the right and pedal it out. I'm going to turn around to the other side so you guys can see me. Take it to the opposite side. Inhale, lifting up through the right leg. Lengthen through the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Rotate the ankle. Inhale, lengthen through the leg. Exhale, pull it all the way through, low lunge. Remaining high on the toe or anchoring that foot into the earth. Breathe into the body. And then using your core strength, inhale and rise up into your warrior one. And sink into your posture. Breathe into your body. Both hip points are pointed directly in front of you towards that front wall. Stable and strong. Drawing up the energy you need from the feet into the body. Opening up the crown, receiving that divinity through the top of the head. Exhale, warrior two. Breathe into your body. Exalted warrior, inhale, lift up through the right fingertips, reach into the sky. Release the left arm down the leg or reach around for a bind. Exhale, warrior two. Nice and strong. I know you guys just look amazing. Inhale, lengthen through the front leg. Exhale, drop the right fingertips inside the arch of the foot. Trikonasana. Exhale, release that left arm down. Take those hands to frame the right foot. Come up high on the back toes. Pull the right leg back to meet the left and pedal it out. Inhale, come long into your body in plank. We're going to hold that plank posture. You can come down onto your forearms if you need to here. Heels are dropped back and down towards that back wall. Legs are together. Spine is nice and straight and long. Hold it a little bit longer. Push past your edge, guys. And then super slow with grace and ease. Releasing the body all the way down. Take one cheek into the earth. And breathe into your body. Deep inhalations and exhalations. And rest into your body for a moment. Pressing into the palms of the hands whenever you're ready. You can come up onto those hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Press the hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Beginning on the right side this time. Inhale, lift up through the right leg. Exhale, pulling it all the way through for a low lunge. I didn't quite make it there this time. Take those hands inside of the arch of the right foot. Drop down onto the left leg, uncurling the toes. Inhale, take the gaze towards the front of the room and just breathe into the body for a moment. We're going to take our time coming into this really beautiful pose. It's our inside dragon, is what some people are calling it. You can come down onto the forearms whenever you're ready. Just like so. The foot, the right foot, totally flattened to the earth, okay? Knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Down on those forearms, we're breathing into our body. Take several deep breaths, and then we're going to come into our wandering dragon. Come up onto the hands. You're going to walk those hands out to the left side so that you can take a gentle twist here. You can stretch those hands out long and drop the forehead towards the earth. Walk those hands back inside of the arch of that right foot. And then if it feels comfortable and safe, you can take a twisting dragon. So you're going to release yourself down onto the left forearm of your body. Take your right hand inside. I'm going to twist a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. You're going to come down on your left forearm. Right hand can come inside of the right knee and push that leg out. I'll lift up so y'all can see. You can come up on the nice edge of that foot here. Down on the forearm. Or you can still be long through the hands and the arms and pressing in, twisting, gazing over the right shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. Breathe into the body as you open up that new space in those hips. And untwist the body. Take the hands back inside of the arch of the foot. Take that right foot back down into the mat. Curling the left toes under. Pressing the hips up into the sky. Draw the right foot back to meet the left and tuttle it out. Take it to the opposite side. Inhaling up through the left foot. Exhale, pull it all the way through for a low lunge. Drop down onto the right knee. Take those hands inside of the arch of that foot. Inhale, take your gaze towards the front of the room. Nice, long, straight spine. Opening up through that hip. Feel that right hip just opening up nice and long. Come down onto the forearms if it feels safe here. Press into the palms of the hands. Walk them out to the right side. You can reach those hands out and release the forehead towards the earth. Remember not to press into pain or tingling or numbness. Don't push yourself into a place of pain. Just always pushing ourselves past our edge. Walk the hands back inside of the arch of the left foot. We're going to come into that twisting dragon. So releasing yourself down onto the forearm of your right arm. Take your left hand. You can press it into the inside of the knee of the left leg, coming up on the nice edge of the foot if you want to. Take your gaze over your left shoulder if it feels safe. Come back to center. Come up on those hands. Curl the back toes under. Press the hips up into the sky. Drawing the left foot back to the right. Pedal out those legs. Keep those toes planted into the earth as you drop the knees back down into the mat. Walk the hands up towards the knees and allowing those glutes to rest on the heels. Tuck those pinky toes under if you need to here. Sometimes those things try to escape. And this is just clearing those energetic channels of the body. So just close your eyes. You can relax your hands, palms of your hands down on top of the thighs. Breathe into the body, releasing any tension, breathing into any blockages. Come back down onto those hands and knees. Uncurl those toes. Tap out the tops of the feet. Walk those legs back. Hands come up. Release the belly super slow and gentle down into the earth. We're going to come into our Sphinx Pose first. So we're going to come up onto those forearms. Palms of the hands are face down into the mat. Toes to touch. Spine is nice and straight and long. And gaze is forward. Drop those shoulders back and down. Pull them away from the ears and lengthen through your neck, allowing the crown of the head to shine into the sky above you. And breathe into the body. Belly is lifted up away from the earth. Just that lower part of the belly beneath the navel is resting into the mat. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully and completely. Relax those arms down to the side of the body. Releasing the opposite cheek into the earth. Breathe into the body. Coming into our Cobra Pose. Take those hands resting into the earth. Sticker getting me out here. Those hands, those fingertips are going to be in alignment with the nipples, elbows in towards the body. Gaze is forward. Inhale, pressing into the palms of the hands. Keep a gentle bend in those elbows. You want to make sure those elbows aren't twisted out, but the interior of your elbow is twisted in and forward towards the front of the room. Breathing into the body. Super slow and gentle, releasing the belly all the way back down into the earth. Hands come back, resting the opposite cheek into the mat. We're going to come into that seal posture. So take your fingertips into the corners of your mat. Make sure you're centered in the center of that mat, vertically. And then inhale deeply, press into those palms and rise up, drawing those hip points away from your mat. Keep a gentle bend in those elbows. Gaze is forward. Shoulders are relaxed down and back. Crown of the head is shining into the sky. Exhale, release the belly down into the earth, resting the opposite cheek into the mat. Take those hands back and down, framing the body with those arms. Pressing into the palms of the hands. Draw yourself upright on your next inhalation. We're going to drop those glutes into the earth so that we can come into that Navasana or boat pose. Bend the knees, soles of the feet gently resting into the earth. Arms come long to frame those hips. Palms of the hands are facing towards each other. Draw the shoulders back and down. And then inhale, lift up through the left leg. And then the right. You can keep those knees bent. Or you can lengthen through the legs. The shaking is good. We're resetting our nervous system. Pushing past our edge. Don't let the boat sink. Exhale. Releasing the soles of the feet into the earth. Come back up. Take a couple deep breaths. Lengthen through the legs. Hands come to the top of the hip crease. Palms are face down. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release those fingertips all the way down towards the feet and ankles. Stop wherever you need to on the shin bones, or you can take those hands around the bottom of the feet. Breathing into the body. Excuse me. Inhale, rise up. Take those hands back towards the hip crease. We're going to do this 2 more times, hoping to go a little bit deeper every time. Inhale deeply. Exhale, take it down. Allow the body to draw you into posture. Keep the spine straight. We're not so much folding over and tucking the nose into the knees. We're keeping the spine straight. Gaze is forward, crown of the head shining into the sky. Inhale, rise up. Exhale 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, take those fingertips down. Little bit deeper every single time if you can. And breathing into the body, pushing ourselves past our edge, moving beyond those limitations, those glass ceilings. Inhale, rise up. Bending the knees. Soles of the feet resting in the earth. Arms come out, fingertips towards the front of the room. Super, super slow. Use your core strength to take your spine into the earth, vertebra by vertebra. Nice and slow and gentle. Arms come to the side of the body. Inhale, knees come into the chest. Holding on to just the right side. Tuck that knee into the heart space. And inhale, lifting up through the left leg. Exhale, super slow and easy. Release that leg all the way down into the earth. Reaching out through the right arm. Take your left hand to the outside of the right knee and draw it across your body. Gazing over your right fingertips if it feels safe. Close your eyes and breathe. Relaxing into this posture. Untwist super slow. Knees come back into the chest. Holding on to the front of those shin bones. Grasp onto the left leg. Pull it into the body and inhale, lift up through the right leg. Exhale, super slow. Take it down into the mat. Reaching out through the left arm. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. Draw the leg across. Twist the body so that you can gaze over the left fingertips if it feels safe on your neck. Otherwise, keep a neutral gaze. Modify wherever you need to ensure that you're having a safe and comfortable practice. But always pushing past the edge. Untwisting that spine. Knees come back into the chest. And finding your happy baby posture. Tuck those knees into the armpits. Hands come to the outside edges of those feet. Just take some gentle movement or remain in stillness. You can rock side to side or back and forth. Kick out one leg and then the other. You can get playful, experimental with this one. Yeah, always encourage you to experiment with your practice anyways. Try different modifications. Try adding new ways of experiencing a posture to see how it feels. If it makes you feel amazing, if you don't love it, just figure out what is that stuff that you love so that you can expand into that. Releasing those legs whenever you're ready. Super, super slow. Come down into that corpse pose, final Shavasana posture. Arms frame the body, palms of the hands face down to ground, palms face up to receive. Allow the feet to fall to the side and breathe. Sink into the earth with every exhalation. Feel her rise up to meet you, to support you on every inhalation. Breathing into the body. Where is your edge? Do you work to come out towards the edge? Or do you try to stay as close to the interior as you can? Your safe space, that place where your comfort zone is. Do you do the things that you're afraid of? Do you do the things and try the things that you even think you're not going to like? Do you lean into your fears? Because if you want growth, if you want expansion, evolution, you got to go out to the edge. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. You may not find glory at the center of safety, but at its edge. You may not find love at a place where you're covered, but in the space where you're exposed. You gotta take some risks. You have to not only pick up the dice, but roll them. So go ahead, take the gamble. You have nothing to lose except the chance to win. Life is too short to spend it on the sidelines. So take chances and have fun. Find your edge. If you're not ready to dive over the edge, stand as close as you can so that you can see all of the kinds of things that you can't see from the center. So make a commitment to yourself today to come up against your fears, to get closer to the edge, to take some chances, to have some fun. Be intrigued by your edge, curious, experimental. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of life. Throw yourself into it fully and completely, wholeheartedly. Don't hold back. There will come a time where you wish you hadn't. Super slow and gentle. Start to wake up the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Wrapping hands around the wrists, feet around the ankles. Taking those gentle cat stretches or full body stretches that are necessary to fully wake up. Fully draw yourself back into this time, in this space, in this beautiful safe place on your mat. Back to the breath. The deep inhalations and exhalations. Take the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shin bones. Rocking and rolling from side to side first for a moment. And then back and forth. Several times before you allow yourself to rock and roll upward into a comfortable and seated position. As always, we finish our practice today with 3 long Satnam. Satnam, I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. I will claim this, align myself to this mantra, knowing that I am truth. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Take those hands into heart center and prayer pose and inhale to begin. Satnam. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here today for the slow flow practice. I hope you guys enjoyed it, were able to relax and get to know yourselves a little bit better in reference to what are you afraid of, where are your limitations, how can you start easing towards the edge. I appreciate you guys, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.